It's Camry and you're watching Camry Music TV, and this is your Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 2 Episode number 2 review. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below to my channel, like the video, share the video, comment, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Camry Music TV. Alright, let's get into it. You have heard that Trick Daddy gets down in the kitchen. I don't really know. I wasn't really too much paying attention to this part. But the meat of it, I did grab. He has his son in there, and his son, I guess, is down for the summer, or he was up there performing with him too. I don't know. He was just up on the stage hyping him up. I don't really know. Didn't catch all that. I just noticed Gunplay was there, and they were talking about the show and what he did with Trina and why that's not all working out. And then it leads into Gunplay asking, you know, what made Trick want to get married? How did they stay married? Type of thing. And it's weird to me when people enlist the help of people who don't have too much expertise in that area. I mean, maybe he's looking at Trick because Trick has been married before and that's where he's trying to go, but isn't Trick still married and they're not together? So I don't know if I would aspire. But anyway, Trick says that he wanted something to come home to, or someone to come home to. And, you know, Gunplay's thinking about it. He would like to do the same thing. But I guess he's thinking, how is he going to make that happen? Spectacular from Pretty Ricky meets up with Fizz and Ray J. And they're sitting down talking about the group getting back together. You guys know that this is kind of giving us that Millennium Tour look, because we're going to have Pretty Ricky, we're going to have B2K. I don't know why, you know, they need to mix Ray J in there somehow, because he at least had one wish, and I hit it first. Y'all need to mix him up in there somehow. But he's sitting down talking to them on one hand about getting his family back together, on the other hand about getting the group back together, and really getting sensible advice from the two. I said, okay, Fizz, you just said the other day that you was done with Love and Hip Hop, you wasn't gonna be on nothing else, and here you are on the next week's episode on a whole nother franchise. And then it was just interesting to see Hollywood cast members on Miami. I guess Spectacular's dad was the manager, and he's sharing that he felt like the dad was being more of a manager than a dad. You know, we hear this story a lot with momagers. They're more of the manager than the mom, like Amber Diamond's mom, you know, like, you know, all these other moms, they have to find that balance. And so Spectacular sharing that that's a struggle that he has. Ray J saying that y'all just need to sit down and hash it all out. Then you're gonna be good to go. Bobby Lights. Did y'all see him post on Instagram this week? He said he's sick and tired of y'all saying Bobby Light. It's Bobby Lights. Okay? Bobby Lights is in the mirror dancing, getting his choreography on. And Prince is in there goofing off. Now, I can't quite figure Prince out, you know. I know that technically it doesn't matter, but I think people like to put people in categories. They like to know where you stand. Prince can do whatever you want to do. If you're into Bobby, child, just say it so you can silence all the rumors. Anyway, he's in there goofing off with him, and JoJo walks in. Now, when I tell you this scene didn't make no sense at all, I need for stories and takes and stuff to flow right, okay? Sometimes when I'm editing my videos, I'll notice that I tripped over a word, or in the middle of my sentence, you know, I kept saying and it wouldn't make sense with the flow of the sentence to cut out a word in the middle of me talking, or to take stuff out without a phrase being done. It's like a stanza, you know, you get done with your phrase, you cut it. And so that's why, you know, when you're doing the editing, you re-say your whole phrase, because it's gonna look weird if you say, yes, oh, and I was going to the mall today. It's just gonna look a mess. It's gonna be all chopped up and all crazy. So when I'm watching this scene, I'm like, okay, I see the potential for it to build up, but the build up doesn't match, you know, what the reaction don't match the action. Okay, so JoJo comes in. She's like, you know, I was talking to Miami Tip, and you know, I started feeling like you was fake, I think, to Prince. And Prince is just like, you know, how are you gonna call me fake or say that I'm not your friend? I've been friends with you for 10 years. And Bobby Lights is kind of looking confused. And then I did not see JoJo put her hands on Prince, but maybe she did, child. But she was saying, she kept saying, get out my face, but they was like this far apart. And so with all that was unclear going on, Prince turns up. And when I say turn up, this man skated through the perimeter of the room, went outside, took his shirt off, ended up behind the dumpster. I'm just like, something ain't matching up here. I'm confused. Where did all this emotion come from? I was highly confused, and I think Bobby Lights was too. I think one of the reasons why this scene didn't work is because JoJo does not have the emotion in front of the camera. When she's talking to the camera, it's very much like this.
I just feel like you're a fake friend. Like, you're in my face. I don't understand why you're in my face. And get out of my face.
Like, girl, liven up. Like, I think maybe that's the issue that I have with her. There's like no emotion in the eyes. There's no like, you know, it's just like deadpan. I don't know. Miami Tip is riding down to Chaotic's, either his house, cousin house, sister house, I don't know. Riding down to the house to get her hair done. Y'all know how we do. Got the chair in the middle of the living room to get our hair done because salons, they're overrated at this point, okay? I will go quickly to get my hair done in a chair in front of somebody's TV in their living room before I sit in a salon under a dryer for 6 hours. This is where we get our introduction to Chaotic officially. Miami Tip saying that he's crazy, he's fun-loving, he's a cool guy, and he shared a little of his story. His brother, I guess, is sentenced to 30 years in prison, and so he's really trying to do something different with his life. His sister that's sitting on the couch, she's very, you know, chocolate skin, real calm, you know, calm-tempered, and she's just talking about her brother. Miami Tip, snatch her wig off, sit down to get her hair done. Y'all, when Chaotic said he'd been shot 7 times, I said, now was you shot like 9 times and then you went back for more? So you got shot like another, what is that, 8 times? Like, is that what happened, or did you get shot 17 times at one time and then now you don't mess with the life no more? Like, 17 times is a lot of times. 1 time is a lot of times. So I don't know, but that kind of scared me, y'all. Chaotic is talking about his show, and Miami Tip says that she's going to bring Joy to the show because I guess she's going to play Cupid. Now, I don't see this match at all. Now, I don't know if Joy has a type, and maybe Tip thought, you know, I can match these two up because she was into Trick Daddy, so maybe she'll be into Chaotic. I don't know where she got that from. But I don't think it's gonna happen. And just like I said, it didn't happen. They go to Chaotic's show, and Miami Tip is there in this dominatrix type top with the like, look like water balloons as the boobs. I was like, girl, what is you wearing, girl? But they were there at his show, and it was Joy, and she looked like she jamming along. And then you got Prince and Bobby Lights. So the show wraps up. Miami Tip goes over to Joy, Bobby, and Prince and wants to introduce Chaotic mostly to Joy. Joy is unamused, unimpressed, and over it, okay, just like we all would be. And he is gaming her up just like these dudes be doing. Oh, your little chocolate self. Oh, let me just get a taste. Give daddy some more. Hey, hey, hey. I was just like, okay. It's enough. It's enough. So Joy's she's not amused. Miami, you know, Tip, everybody's laughing. Now we know she ain't into all that. But we see that Tip and Prince, not Tip, Bobby Lights and Prince are talking about their issue. So when they start talking about this issue, this is when I realized, okay, when did they get this issue? This is how I know that last scene did not communicate effectively to the audience, because here we are, confused. So they're talking, and Prince just feels like, you know, that was your friend. She came at me sideways. She put her hands on me. So it falls on you because you let it go down. Bobby Lights is confused at the emotion just like all of us. And Prince is like, if somebody put their hands on you, you're going to have that emotion because basically you can't put your hands back on them. But maybe because JoJo was so, you know, poor at communicating the story with emotion or with any kind of things on her face, I was not able to grasp that it was really that serious. The only person that had so much emotion was Prince, because Bobby Lights is usually the one that's emotionally charged. So, and he's a Scorpio like myself. So, you know, usually we're like that. But it was Prince this time. So I don't really get all this. I know that it's fabricated. And so I feel like these lines, they need to connect better because it's looking faulty right now. It's looking like a shaky bridge. So Trina's with her boo at the house and they are talking, and I was looking at her boo and I was just like, man, I mean, I guess, you know, a lot of times couples, when they're together, you can kind of see how they ended up together. And y'all know that couples, they kind of start to look alike. You know, as you're together, you kind of got some of the same attributes. You kind of got some of the same mannerisms. So her and her man, you know, he wasn't showing too much personality. As a matter of fact, when he was talking to her, she's like going off and fully passionate. This is what I'm saying about these people on front of this camera. She's going off, she's fully passionate, and he's just looking at her and he's like, well, how do you feel about that? And she's going off and she's super passionate and she's talking like this and she's moving like this and she's talking like this. And then he's like, well, maybe you need to talk to Trick Daddy about that. And he's still just like, you know, it's all gonna work out for the better. And I'm just like, this is so unrealistic. Like, usually, if I got emotion, you gonna match my emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be talking to you like this and then you know what I'm saying. So Amata and Jojo are in Zumba class, okay? I don't see one drop of sweat. As a matter of fact, these ladies are in full makeup and Jojo looks grabbed up in her clothes. I don't know what's going on. And they're basically just talking. They're talking about the Bobby Lights and Prince situation, and Amata's making petty comments like, that's your best friend, but I'm your best friend. And so she doesn't believe anything that Bobby Lights is saying. So clearly we're seeing that they're trying to create Amata La Negra as this villain. Okay, they're talking about her, spreading rumors about her, setting up little feuds and conflicts between different people because she did blow up. So it's like you go from the fan favorite to now we want to make you the villain, and if you survive that, then you'll be a permanent and your sky's the limit. And I kind of feel like that kind of thing kind of happened with Portia on Real Housewives. You know, she was a new girl and then they wouldn't let her live because, you know, she made the railroad comment, thinking the Underground Railroad was a railroad underground. And then, you know, the Vegas things with the strippers, and then, you know, now we love her. But I feel like they're gonna try to bring Amata La Negra through the same thing. So they are talking and catching up about things, and then they get on the Jessie Woo situation. Now, one thing with me, when JoJo's on the screen, I try to keep up because the mess gets so messy that the details get lost in translation, and then I get uninterested. And y'all know how I am with these Love and Hip Hop franchises. They can only keep my interest for so long, and since I'm trying to stay disciplined here, I'm gonna just try to move through it the best way that I can. Basically, she's saying that, you know, Miami Tip came at her crazy at the Sisters Live event. She don't know what that was about. She wants to get it handled. I don't know how we get into Jessie Woo. See what I'm saying? I just was in and out. I don't know how we get into Jessie Woo, but basically they're going to have a meetup with her later on. And Amata says, when I'm feeling petty, I'll let you know that I want to have this sit down. So I'm like, you already going in wrong, girl. So Miami Tip has a podcast called Tipsy Tuesdays, and she's actually in the studio, and she has Jessie Woo and her sister on as guest for the week. I thought it was really cool to see Miami Tip with the podcast because that lets you know that she has a creative outlet and she's doing, you know, something with it. You know, it's very different because a lot of these girls get on here and they try to be a rapper. They try to be, you know, a singer. And it's like, you could have a YouTube channel, you could have a podcast, there's still other stuff like that. So, you know, although Miami Tip seems a little unnatural on the mic, she's very natural in front of this camera. So I don't know. We'll see. But she has Jessie Woo on and they're catching up, basically talking about the Sisters Live thing and how, you know, Miami Tip had to get out of there real quickly. And she's asking Jessie Woo, what was the beef between you and JoJo? Well, you know, I have beef with JoJo because I have beef with Amata because we had the same manager. That manager gave her my idea, which was the Sister Talk Live, or the Sisters. I'm getting the Sister Circle mixed in there. I think it was Sister Talk Live. And then she also brings up this situation with her man and Amata. So this is where we start to see, you know, in the beginning they already tried to say something about her DMing Gunplay, and he couldn't even say her name right. He was like Lamata, and it's not Lamata, it's Amata. So, and it's actually Amata La Negra. So, you know, just a mess, just a hot stinking mess. So they actually meet up, and so it's Jessie Woo and JoJo, and they sit down first, and JoJo's playing nice at first. So this is why I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be amicable, this is gonna be cool. I think Jessie Woo is very pretty. So I'm like, you know, I don't want any bad things from Jessie Woo. I want to like her because I feel like she's very pretty. You know, she can sing. She actually has a following. She's not just somebody they just picked out that has money. And, you know, she actually does something YouTube, Instagram, can sing, all that stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm rocking with you. So Amata shows up. They're talking, and Jessie Woo says that they were at an event, or at Amata's event or meeting or something, and Jessie's man told her that Amata came and was asking him, you know, suspect questions. All right, she was asking, you know, pretty much asked about getting to the bed with him. And, you know, Amata's just looking like, this is pathetic. Like, I don't need to do that. Like, I can get anybody, you know, type of thing. So I don't know if I believe this narrative, because Amata did such a good job of getting us on her side last season with this whole, like, I'm Afro-Latina, and, you know, people treat me wrong because my skin is darker and this is my hair. You know, it was just such a long and drawn out thing last season. So it's like, oh, am I doing this because I just really like Amata La Negra, or why can't I seem to believe this mess? You know, and it just makes me think, you know, anytime, I'm not gonna say anytime, but I remember one time back in the Disney, I was dating somebody and he was trash. And he told me, we were all out and I went to the restroom. And so he whispers over to me, you know, your friend, she was flirting with me while you were gone. She had her hand on my leg. She was doing such and such and such and such. And I felt like, you know, I've known this person long enough. I'm talking about him. I've known him long enough, and, you know, he wouldn't lie to me. So clearly she must have did ABC. And so I pressed her about it, and she was just kind of like, girl, I would never, don't need to ever, don't want him, like, he needs to calm down. And so instead of making a spectacle, you know, I just put it in my head, put it back in my head. But it started to happen over and over like that. And the next time it happened, you know, it was somebody very close to me, a whole lot closer to me. And so I was like, yeah, you're really trash. Trash, trash. And you know what we do with the trash? We take it out. So in this situation, Jessie girl, I don't know if you got one of those or if he's telling the truth. Who knows? Just don't lose your character over this whole show, because that's what happened. Jojo throws a drink at Jessie Woo, and I'm like, here go Jojo, stirring the pot again. Somebody get her a storyline, because this is her whole story right now. Her whole Carly Red, her whole charade. Just stirring the pot. And so because she throws the drink, then Jessie Woo feels like, oh, it's on and popping. She throws, you know, a glass or something towards her, but Jojo's so far away, she throws it at Amata La Negra. The security's grabbing, she throws a bottle at her. Amata La Negra's like, I'm not in this. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. She actually apologized to her, even though the apologies seem faulty. She apologized to her. It's like, Jojo, you escalated this whole, and you didn't even have to. But you did, and nobody sees that. So JoJo's the one who caused everybody to make a fool of themselves, and hopefully they can come up out of this and realize who stirred the pot. Alright, so Spectacular is at the house, and he is talking about the wedding with his fiance Blue and Mama Blue. Now, are Spectacular and Blue brothers? Because I feel like they are. Maybe they are. They're talking, and they're talking about the family, they're talking about the group, they're talking about the wedding. Okay? And all of the drama folds into another. The thing about family stuff, you guys, there don't be no forgiveness. People be like, I forgive, I forgive. Then they keep doing each other like trash, and then, you know, it's just hurt and hurt and hurt. And so then people just start blocking each other off for years and years and years, and people don't know why. And so then when events come up in your lives, like funerals, like weddings, like family reunions, it's hard to get everyone together because people are still upset about things. That is happening here. Spectacular's got drama with his dad. You know, him and his fiance moved from there to LA with the son. And the mom was offended by it. Spectacular never knew. And the mom was actually into it with, what's her name? Jamie? Maybe it's Jamie. And so she starts crying. And I was just like, yet again, where are these tears coming from all of a sudden? And so, you know, we see that the mom was deeply hurt by them moving so far away, and she wanted to be involved in everything. And so now her and Jamie are going to go in the other room. I hope that's her name. And they're going to discuss wedding plans. Spectacular has a plan to get all the guys of Pretty Ricky in a room so that they can discuss things so they can be on the Millennium Tour. I will say that I'm surprised to see Spectacular so vocal on this show because he is the most successful out of the group outside of the group, on the outside, okay? He actually has like feasible, like real tangible businesses and things going on. So it's weird for me to see him so vocal on this show when last season he was kind of just like playing the background, kind of the peacemaker, voice of reason, but now he's like the ringleader. So Pretty Ricky sits down in what looks like a little boardroom, okay? I'm trying to gauge the dress code. You know, Pleasure P got on a nice, you know, burgundy button up, and then Spectacular, I don't remember what he had on, maybe on black and some kind of blazer, and you know, Slick, his hair actually looks together. Now I don't know if it had some black dye or something going on. He had some red tips, but it was actually edged up, kind of neat, okay? And then Blue, he had on a full white suit. I didn't see the pants, but I mean the top looks so overdressed. And white, with a white bow tie. And I was just so confused. I was like, where are you going? Where are you going? Like nobody told him what we was doing here. So he has that on, and they're sitting down to talk. So we find out that there's an issue between Pleasure P and Blue because of Cincinnati. Y'all, this light is bright. How does this look? Hopefully it looks good because this light is really bright. And it'd be making me hot. Pleasure P says that there was some kind of, maybe Blue had some kind of friends there that didn't know Pleasure, and then they got into it, and instead of Blue really diffusing the situation, he probably like took up for the homeboys and then got in front of him, and then Blue makes some comment like, you still here, ain't you? You alive, ain't you? So that kind of pipes, you know, Pleasure P up. And Blue kind of has this tick, you know, he's looking at you, but it's like a really intense look. And it does not look sane. Something missing, okay? I would never mess with Blue. Like, I would never, you know, I would say bless you anytime he sneezes. You know, hold the door for him, you know, when he's coming through, you know, even though I'm the lady. Just be extra nice to him because, you know, I don't know what he gonna do. He look a little unstable, you know. I'm your friend, I promise. So that sets Pleasure P off. He goes out in the hall, you know, he can't take it no more. This is why he can't work. This is why the group can't get back together. He was fine being boyfriend number 2 because Blue just be doing too much. But you know, Spectacular is saying, come on man, let's go get this money. Y'all need to put the BS aside, secure the check. The Millennium Tour is gonna take off without you, dude. We need you. We need you. Come on. So, you know, Spectacular is the mature, voice of reason, level-headed. Slick is just the, you know, go with the wind, wild one, okay? Pleasure P and Blue are the ones both trying to be Beyonce. And Blue just, I don't remember him offering a whole lot to the group. Now, I could be wrong. Don't come get me now. Don't come get me. I'm just saying, Pleasure P was the main one. And maybe Blue's jealous of that, I don't know. So they basically end up working it out. They're gonna go ahead, follow suit, and try this tour. And we see that it's actually working out. They're gonna go on the tour. So Trick and Trina meet up at some, you know, restaurant. They're sitting down there eating. And Trina is already, you know, like, I'm here to talk about business. I had to already catch him, you know, so she already got bad energy. But, you know, it's because she's tired of having to chase somebody. It feels like she's talking to a wall. He literally is just like irresponsive to the things that she's saying, her needs, her wants, and all that. And, you know, you can only take that for so long. So she's talking to him. She's asking him about, you know, what happened with the album? What's going on? Why haven't you been there? And he's like, you know, I did them tracks with you and they were just like kind of not my style. They were kind of soft. That is what I was getting from him. That's not what he said verbatim. But she was like, they were vibes and people like that side of you. So I have a feeling that Trick kind of felt like the album was going in a new, fresh direction. And he wants to be able to please his OG fans and be the harder him. But that was a much younger you. And so this is the problem that I have with rappers. You know, you got to evolve with the times. You got to move with the times. We don't want you rapping about the same stuff from the very end when you first started. Now, I'm not a Trick Daddy fan. So really he could do either way, and I could be totally wrong. But all that I'm saying is, you know, it seems like Trina's trying to do something new and fresh and fit into what's happening now, and Trick is trying to keep it back to the old school Miami. So they already have two different visions for this album. Wasn't gonna work out anyway. And Trick has other people meeting him. He's, you know, handling business all while she's talking. She's getting more and more and more upset. He can't understand why she's keeps kind of calling her a diva, and you know, that only further agitates me. Okay, when you do stuff like that. Trina ends up blowing up. She's like, forget this TNT album because I got my own solo project and I will be doing it. Okay, so that was Love and Hip Hop Miami for the week, episode number 2 of season 2. Y'all, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna try to stick with it, but even that was hard for me to stay tuned in. But you guys let me know down in the comments what you thought about this episode. What else are you going to be watching as these new shows are coming back? I do plan on reviewing Queen Sugar whenever it comes back. And so I'm Kim Ray, and this is Kim Ray Music TV, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!